Kenobi!
Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here to give you all of the news from a galaxy far, far away. In today's news update we have some exciting new information about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We're also going to be talking about Luke Skywalker and The Mandalorian Season 3. Before I get into it, as always, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and welcome if you are, and make sure to hit that notification bell to be alerted each and every time I post new content to the channel. You can expect daily Star Wars updates from me. Now without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So Comic Book have released some new details about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series because during Disney Investor Day there were descriptions of early concept art to do with the Kenobi series. So this is what it says. Concept art shows a Jedi lightsaber blade ignited, defending a trio of younglings as the newly anointed Darth Vader marches on the Jedi Temple with a legion of clone troopers. More concept art shows a stingray-like creature floating above slave workers, toiling away in the barren landscape of Tatooine. So let's deal with one element at a time. I think the first bit is so exciting because if you are a fan of the prequels, specifically Revenge of the Sith, you will know that we never actually got to see Anakin's dark deeds on screen. We never saw what went on in the Jedi Temple, even though it is mentioned in the novelization of Revenge of the Sith. We also see it in the 2005 Revenge of the Sith game, when Anakin takes on Jocasta Nu and other Jedi as well. So this first piece of information that we've received about the Kenobi series sparked some theories on Reddit, and one of the more interesting ones was to do with Shaak Ti. Since we know Grogu was present during the events of Order 66 even though he was saved, some people believe that Jedi Master Shaak Ti was the one who saved him, and that potentially one of these three younglings is Grogu. So one Redditor has stated her current canon death is that she died at the hands of Vader in the Jedi Temple. While it's unlikely that her death will be retconned, her story could be adapted to include information from old canon/legends. In Legends, Shaak Ti went into exile on Felucia, and like many other Jedi survivors, she sought out others of the Great Purge. She found and protected Jedi Padawan Maris Brood. She also trained other Force sensitives in the ways of the light side. Now, in case you're not familiar, George Lucas did cut out a scene from Revenge of the Sith, which included Shaak Ti being killed by Darth Vader at the Jedi Temple. Could we see this in live action? I also want to state that if we are going into the Jedi Temple as the concept art states, could we see Darth Vader, or rather newly appointed Darth Vader, taking on Sin Dralik and his apprentice Sarah? I really can't wait for a 2020 adapted series where we will see more in-depth scenes from Revenge of the Sith which we didn't get to see explicitly in episode 3. It's also worth stating that in a recent interview, Ewan McGregor stated that the show does start on Tatooine, so we could be looking at a lot of flashbacks and PTSD-induced memories that Obi-Wan has of the Purge, the Great Purge, Order 66. Now, on the same topic as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Inverse have written a cool article which states that the series could be bringing back Darth Maul. So they write, a Redditor suggests the villain of Kenobi will be Maul. That's right, Maul, formerly Darth Maul, fresh from his appearance in the Clone Wars and Rebels. This may seem very implausible, but it could be an interesting angle for a series that at the moment has no obvious plot. The recent news that Hayden Christensen will reprise the role as Anakin Skywalker most likely means we'll see flashbacks of Obi-Wan's past as he deals with the guilt of leaving his Padawan to die. However, it's unclear how Hayden could play Darth Vader in the show's present since he's already been delimbed and burnt to a crisp. A more pressing conflict could come in the form of Darth Maul. And yes, we've already seen Maul's final death at the hands of Obi-Wan in Rebels, but that was just 2 years before the events of A New Hope. Kenobi will probably take place about a decade before A New Hope, so it could bridge the gap between episodes 3 and 4. Evidently, this would make for Maul's fourth appearance after his apparent death in the Phantom Menace, as he's already appeared in the Clone Wars, Rebels and Solo. Apparently there's no such thing as too much Maul amongst Star Wars fans. There is a big flaw with this theory though. When Maul finds out about Obi-Wan in Rebels, he seems genuinely shocked and surprised. Of course, that could be a ruse to serve his plan, but it does seem like quite the inconsistency. But if the theory does pan out to be true, this could be the resolution that the Maul cameo in Solo was leading to. An appearance in Kenobi would retroactively make that big twist actually matter. It would also give Maul and Obi-Wan's final confrontation in Rebels much more significance. And so now we're going to look at an article which talks about The Mandalorian Season 3 and how it could exist on a completely different timeline to the sequel trilogy. So they suggest that the world of The Mandalorian and the other upcoming Disney spin-off shows exist in a separate timeline from the sequel trilogy of movies. According to this theory, the two timelines diverged during the World Between Worlds arc of Star Wars Rebels when Ezra Bridger was able to save Ahsoka Tano via time travel. The timeline of The Mandalorian is the one where she survived, but the sequel trilogy of movies is the timeline where she could potentially die. As many fans have suggested, this would allow The Mandalorian to circumvent all of the stuff that Star Wars fans didn't like about the sequels, while also maintaining canon. It also sets up what's essentially a Star Wars multiverse, which clearly seems to be the trend these days with other big franchises like Marvel and DC. But for this to work, The Mandalorian Season 3 could reincorporate the time travel elements from Rebels and set Ahsoka up for her own series, which is already speculated to include time travel itself. It's one thing to mess with time travel in an animated series, but bringing the concept into live-action Star Wars might be a bit of a stretch. This theory really works more as a thought experiment than actually a prediction for The Mandalorian's third season. After all, there are already connections between the shows and the movies. But as much as fans would like to pick and choose which parts are and are not canon, the main 9 films will always be the core of the rest of the Star Wars galaxy. And on this topic, I know a lot of people do want to see the sequels retconned, or for them to go a completely different direction for The Mandalorian seasons 3 and 4, I guess. I do think there are a few clues in The Mandalorian second season which states that we are actually heading down the sequel's path. For example, the cloning facility that we saw in Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian Season 2, that does seem to be leading to the creation of Snoke and eventually bringing back Palpatine. Moff Gideon said in the Season 2 finale that this was the only chance to bring back law and order into the galaxy, which is what Palpatine stood for as the creator of the Empire. But there are also elements in Season 2 which state that they are going a different direction. For example, the optimistic Luke that we saw in Season 2's finale, who was very powerful and took Grogu under his wing. But time will just tell if Disney are going to make adjustments to the sequel trilogy. Could they retcon them? Could they decanonize them? Who knows? But until anything's official, I think we can assume they will lead naturally into The Force Awakens and the events of the sequels, as much as fans may not like that. So that is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to give me a big fat like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also please consider becoming a patron of mine on Patreon. For just $2 or $10 a month, you can get exclusive access to content that is not found here on this platform. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.